Welcome to episode number 9 of Tuesday's Upset Forecast, powered by Bookmakers Bet.
Every Tuesday, we break down sharp betting angles across football, basketball, and the NFL. Core 4 picks, 5 rapid-fire predictions, all in less than 30 minutes.
And what a better way to win than win with us. Visit our website, bookmakers.bet. For the best bookmakers, visit our social media, our X, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and of course the YouTube, and follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. As in every Thursday, my name is DimiCub. I'm your co-host here with the Lord, Mr. Lord BLT, Brad Thomas.
It was nice to have some podcasting to do. It's always nice when you're winning, right? And as he said, I'm Mr. Lord BLT, Brad Thomas. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Let's win. Finally, the Champions League phase is over. What do we got out of that? First of all, we got some exciting new playoff pairs. Benfica vs Real Madrid. They will run it over again. What an exciting ending that was. Unfortunately, Paphos didn't make it. We backed Paphos. We were successful in backing Paphos. We were indeed, but they didn't make it. The Europa League is also over. Ludogorets made it. We backed them. They made it. They did make it. Some other results didn't come our way, but some didn't. Brad, can you help me on that?
Yeah, so Champions League was interesting, right? PSG, just like the last time they played Newcastle, 10,000 shots and struggled to find the back of the net. 1 goal output, -1 loss. But listen, I have now recouped my losses from fading Juventus earlier. I faded them again this time. We got back to even with Monaco, double chance. And honestly, it was probably a bad bet because Juventus did rotate, but Monaco are so bad.
Yes.
And then Chelsea -1 was interesting. That bet probably should have never won. Never pushed. It pushed. Stuttgart, I will own it. You never, ever take a German team on the handicap. That is my bad. I should have just taken Stuttgart to win and over 2.5, like what you're supposed to do anytime you do Bundesliga. And then Lyon stinks. Let's go, Lyon. That was my favorite bet of the week, and it came through with ease. Up in the first half, didn't concede a goal.
What a great bet. What a great bet in Lyon, honestly. At Monaco, personally, I backed them plus 0.25 in live betting against Juventus. Got paid as well. Where I did not get paid, it was Liverpool.
Oh,
Liverpool decided to show up. What's up with that?
Crazy.
I didn't expect Newcastle to be that bad, honestly,
No.
They even scored first.
Yeah.
They even scored first. And then they just crashed. They collapsed.
Dominated them. Insane.
Wow. Who would have thought that? And now Liverpool are going to play their whole season. Their EPL season is on the line against Man City.
Yep.
What's going on there? Okay. Anyway, it's episode number 9, so let's get into it. We have the 4 full breakdowns and the lightning round. And this is going to be one of my favorite episodes of the year because this is the Super Bowl 60 episode.
Yes.
Brad.
Super Bowl.
Spotlight.
Bowl. I will start with the first one. And obviously, we have to talk Super Bowl, right? There were so many angles that we could have went in this direction. And I'm going to be honest, right? I probably could have done an entire show of Super Bowl picks, but you got to read the articles, right? We have an article out that's going to have the Super Bowl picks. There's another article coming out that's going to have more Super Bowl picks. So I didn't want to give you the same information over and over again, but there was one bet that I had to make sure if you're not following on the website and you're just following on the podcast, you got Patriots versus Seahawks. Kenneth Walker, running backs for the Seahawks, over 69.5 rushing yards. I played 72.5 in the article. at a better price, it's fine. I'm going to double dip here. 1.8 on the decimal odds. So thinking about the Patriots, right? Patriots 13th in the NFL in EPA per rush on defense. They're not a terrible run defense. I mean, any defensive line that is that stout is going to have success. But I think we're getting a discount on Kenneth Walker because of what has happened in the postseason for the Patriots. The Patriots got to play against some really bad running attacks. Texans can't run the ball, right? I mean, they can, but not really effective. They got to play the Broncos, who were down a quarterback, but the Broncos don't even like running the ball that much, so it made RJ Harvey basically ghost in that game. The Patriots, and if you want to talk about some more analytics, and I'm not the biggest PFF naysayer or truther, I like to use EPA and success rate, but PFF has the Patriots run defense as a 65. Kenneth Walker is going to be the bell cow of this backfield with Zach Charbonnet being out. Another thing that I like about this game, so spread right now 4.5, 5.5, depending on where you're shopping, in favor of the Seahawks. Line and number is moving up, means there's buy on the Seahawks. There is a belief that the Seahawks run away with this. There's a belief that the Seahawks will run the ball with Kenneth Walker late in the game. Kenneth Walker, one of the best running backs in yards per rush, yards after contacts, and fewest tackles for losses or yards for negative gain when in a leading position. I know I said a lot. Basically, that means when the Seahawks are up, Kenneth Walker is always getting positive yards on runs, and they're always of the bigger variety. I like him to go over the 69.5 rushing yards.
At this point, I will not be as kind as Mr. Brad is. I will urge you to read both his articles on bookmakers.bet, both the Super Bowl analysis and the prop bets that is coming. I mean, come on. Brad is not writing them for himself. He's trying to help you win.
Yes.
What I like about Super Bowl, apart from your pick and your picks in general, are the prop bets. Last year was one of my favorite ever winning picks, with Kendrick Lamar just saying the word Drake. The moment Kendrick Lamar said, "Hey Drake," I got paid.
Heck yeah.
So I hope something like this goes on this year. Apart from that, I don't think I have something to comment on your pick other than it's a winning one. So let's just cash.
Yep.
Look, I know that Super Bowl is the highlight of this episode, and it should be the highlight of this episode, and more for Super Bowl are coming later. But let's tweak it a bit. Let's go a bit into Premier League. We have a full match day next weekend. And let's go to what I consider to be a derby between two teams that are fighting against relegation. I'm talking about Leeds United and Nottingham Forest. So the situation is pretty simple here. We have both teams lying just outside the relegation zone. They're tied. They're both 6 points ahead of West Ham, so nobody wants to lose. It's easy as that. We have a Leeds team that in the last 7 EPL games, they have allowed 11 goals. But the catch here is that 8 of these goals came in just 2 games.
Yep.
They conceded 4 against Arsenal. They conceded 4 against Newcastle. They also scored 3 there, but I guess that was just a coincidence. Remember when we backed Leeds and Fulham both to score, we said that, okay, they're very efficient. Their attack is great. But this is not the case. This is more of a case that their defense looks more efficient. Because in the 5 out of their last 7 matches, and I'm talking about the 5 matches they allowed 1 or 0, they managed to keep their opponents under 0.7 x goals against. And the 2 matches they didn't were against Liverpool and Manchester United. So I think you're starting to get the bigger picture here. Nottingham Forest. They're terrible offensively. They are a typical Son Deitch team. 4-4-2. No gas, all breaks. Less than 1 XG4
Yep.
in 5 of their last 7. But they are a sturdy defense. 3 times they kept under 3 goals in their games. They did it on Sunday against Crystal Palace in a game that it was a 1-1 draw since the 20th minute. And Palace were down by 1 player. Nottingham Forest couldn't score for their life in that game. They managed to keep Brentford goalless. And the biggest success of their season, they have managed to keep Arsenal goalless.
Yep.
So here, I cannot see any other way that this match goes. To be fair, I'm seeing a 1-1 draw. Everyone's happy. Mr. Marinakis is happy. Leeds are happy. Everyone's happy. So we're picking under 2.5 goals with average odds of 1.80.
It's always nice when you have two teams that realistically struggle in front of net, but always nice when you have two teams that still play better defense and play at a slower pace. I told you I was under 2.5 in that that Forest versus Crystal Palace match. And then it was a red card and still went under the 2.5 after a 1-1 equalizer in that game. I like it. I like the under. I was probably going to parlay under 3 because I think if this game goes over, it's not going over by 2 clear goals. It's 1 goal.
Yeah,
so
actually,
3 total.
Actually, 2 or 3 goals was my other.
Yep, max.
My other pick here, but I told you I will even bet on 1-1 draw.
Yeah. No, I think 1-1 is the fair play in that, right? Like the probably the best bet. That match ends 1-1. It's been so common in Leeds matches. It's been so common in Forest matches. So I'm gonna get to my pick.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, man, I'm nervous for this because this is the second podcast in a row that I've been on a Chelsea bet. Wolves versus Chelsea. And I just don't think this price is correct because what we've seen out of Chelsea is regardless of how the game's playing, Resonant, not good with the French, sorry. The new manager has found a way to get their team going. I'm taking Chelsea team total over 1.5. Bear with me. It is slightly juiced. 1.71 odds, minus 140. I understand. Some people don't have the juice tolerance. But for me in this game, I want to make it clear that I am only tacking a line that I think I'm going to get massive CLV. What does that mean? Closing line value. Right now, minus 140. I think this line closes at minus 175, if not better. Chelsea, in their last, we're going to include Champions League as well. In their last 3 matches, they played against Crystal Palace, they played against Napoli, and they played against West Ham. We can't say it's the biggest sample size of data, but it is against 3 teams that have consistently at least been make life stressful on the defensive front. I'm throwing West Ham in there because they're a different team now than they were at the beginning of the season, so I will give them that credit. Glasner's Crystal Palace is a team that hangs their hat on defending and playing a physical match. Chelsea scored 3, and I don't want to hear anything that says there was a red card in that game because they had scored 3 prior to the red card, even on an XG of 2.2. So they overperformed a little, but still had an XG of 2.2, suggesting they should have scored twice in that game. Then they played against Napoli, a game that I was really interested to see how this would pan out because I was on Napoli plus 0.5 before the money came in. I was like, Napoli's going to defend well, right? Conte needs to get 1 point. What did Chelsea do? Chelsea went out and scored, we'll say 2 goals from open play because they did get an Enzo Fernandez penalty, but still performed away from home in the Maradona, not a place that's easy to go and not only score multiple times, but win the game. And then they played against West Ham in a match, a London derby, a match where I thought it would be Chelsea cakewalk. Started off absolutely brutal Gross, sickening, nasty. You know what Chelsea did? Chelsea went out there and they scored 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 second half goals to not just tie after being down 2-0 at halftime, to win the game. Now they're playing against a Wolves side who have just been, I hate to say it, a team that concedes. They've been off leaky, conceding 2+ goals on average per contest. This is a team that is 20th, dead last on the table. Conceded 2 goals in back-to-back games, home and away. I like Chelsea to score twice in this game. You could take them to win, but I just have a hard time trusting Chelsea away from home to win matches, and especially to keep a clean sheet. So what does that mean? For them to win, if I don't trust them to keep a clean sheet, for them to win, they have to score twice. So I like their team total over 1.5.
You're being prudent here. You're taking the easy way out.
It feels easy, right? Like the easy bets never cash, but
Yes.
this was a bet I didn't want to not be on.
No, actually seeing that, I find some value, to be fair. Since I consider that bet to be an easy one, I'll say Chelsea will score 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I'm ballsy on that.
I like it.
I'll go hard on that. I'll go harder on that. Actually, I did that last time with your Bayern Munich pick from the Champions League, and Harry Kane missed penalty. But this time we'll cash, and this time we'll also cash with my next pick. I wish I could have let you go on for the Super Bowl more and more, but I have to talk myself a bit. So I'm going to Italy. I'm going to the Serie A.
Okay.
We have a match tonight. We have the match that completes the current match day. Bologna vs Milan. We're talking about AC Milan, of course.
Yep.
Look, at first read, this match was an easy away win. I mean, you have Bologna that are in terrible form in the Serie A at the moment. Just 1 win in their last 9, and this win was against Hellas Verona, one of the bottom 3 teams at the Serie A. Now, you have AC Milan that are undefeated since August, but they draw a lot. This is the catch here. They draw a lot. They have drawn 50% of their last 8 games. That means 4 games. I just made it more fancy for the numbers. What numbers do, in our case, are drive to both teams to score. And this is going to be our peak. This is going to be our peak with average odds of 1.80 again. Because we have both teams that produce more than 1.20 x goals for, and at the same time concede the same amount of x goals in the league. We have AC Milan with 4 PTTS in their last 5 games. We have Bologna with 5 out of 6. And when talking about Bologna, it's not all about stats. It's also about the deadly combo they have in their attack. Riccardo Orsolini, Santi Castro, who have combined for 13 goals in the Serie A this year. And they're both playing. I know that Milan are mighty title contenders, and I know that it is one of the matches that they must win to stay close to Inter. But unfortunately, my numbers, my stats, and my gut say that they won't. So, we're taking both teams to score, again at average odds of 1.80. Of course, you can find a better set of odds in one of bookmaker.bet, trusted bookies.
I think a fun way to play this one is AC Milan double chance in both teams to score. I think that's really, really fun. But anyways, what a fun first section. Mm-hmm. Why? Because we talked about footy and American football. But You know what? It is time for the quick hitters. 5 picks, one-liners, in and out. It is the lightning round, and I'm going to kick things off. I'm going to kick things off because I know it's supposed to be quick, but I wanted to tell you, I do a Super Bowl betting board, which means I bet about 25 bets, and I have to have some that are plus money to cover my butt just in case I lose. The first one in the Super Bowl, Seahawks versus Patriots, Jake Bobo, over half a reception, plus 110. That means Jake Bobo needs to get 1 catch, has a catch in back-to-back games, a target at least in both games, obviously 2 targets in the last game, and he's seen his snap share gradually increase in the postseason.
I myself am going to England's most boring club competition, which is the EFL Cup, but I'm going to win on that with Manchester City to win against Newcastle. 1.80, again, 3rd time in a row for me, average odds. So, at some point, Man City have to build a streak. It is time to build a streak. They battled hard against Tottenham. They lost to Bodo Glimt about 10 days ago. This cannot go on. Newcastle cannot cope with superior teams, as everybody saw on Saturday against Liverpool, as everybody saw against Aston Villa. They were very, very lucky in Paris, costing us a bet. And I think the 2-0 first leg win of Man City is the way to go here. They're going to double their wins and advance to the final.
I'm going to the WM Phoenix Open. Yep, we're talking golf. And I am taking Sir Andrew Novak to finish top 20 at plus 290. Novak coming off the best approach day or week of his career, gaining 6.6 strokes on approach. Andrew Novak in his history at this tournament, T8 in 2024, miscut in 2025, but Novak's playing fantastic golf, and the putter seems like it's starting to heat up.
I will go to the EuroLeague that has betrayed me 2 weeks in a row. But this time, I'm going to do something that I did about a month ago. I'm going to back the under 167.5 in Barcelona vs Fenerbahce. 1.90 average odds. I see just like their first encounter that had 143 points. They will do it again. Barca is struggling against top-tier teams. They scored 75 points against Olympiacos. They scored just 61 in the Clásico against Real Madrid. And I think that their slow offense matches Fener's top defensive ability. Fenerbahce have allowed 80 or less in their last 4.
And I'm going to go back to golf. And I'm taking Mr. Sahith Theegala, top 20 plus 190. Theegala might be back. This is a guy who has been killing it on approach and has been draining putts. 2 things that you desperately need in Scottsdale. At plus 190, the price is just far too wide. And that includes ties, which means if he finishes T20, you still get paid plus 195.
And now that it's all over, we have our 4 full picks on board. The Seahawks, Kenneth Walker, over 69.5 rushing yards. Under 2.5 goals in Leeds vs Nottingham Forest. Chelsea over 1.5 team total. And both teams to score in Bologna vs Milan.
As in every week, we will keep on tracking everything, right? The wins, the losses, and the heartbreakers, all of it.
And since this show is made for you, we would like you to spread the word. We would like you to hit the comment section and tell us what you did like and did not. Hit us on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Find our verified sportsbooks at bookmakers.bet. You will find all links in the episode description.
And remember, to bet a winner, you got to feel a winner. And to feel a winner, you got to be a winner.
Don't forget to bet responsibly. Enjoy Super Bowl 60.